Hello, everyone. This is Awaken to Love, Episode 1. Today's guest is Brandon Davis, aka Misty Island. Brandon is a good friend of mine, an excellent musician, and an all-around good dude. On today's episode, we talk about all kinds of things: life, love, and even dating. So sit back and enjoy. Davis.
Flint play.
Thanks for being the first guest on my new podcast, Awaken to Love.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's great to be having you here in my living room.
Dude, your living room is such a vibe. I love that thing on the TV. It's great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, it's nice to keep the TV covered up so that, you notice the tie-dye pattern instead of like, oh, there's the TV, like, what should we watch?
Yeah, that's the dilemma.
It's kind of like an added, like, step. If you want to watch TV, you have to notice, like, it looks beautiful as it is. Like, are we going to, like, you have to make the conscious decision whether you're going to...
Yeah, are you really going to watch that Netflix show, or are you going to look at this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little more of a ceremony,
yeah,
if you will.
No, I've noticed that when you do things more intentionally, like I just got a record player, and just putting on a record, it's just there's way more intention in it, right?
You got to pull the thing out of the sleeve.
Yep. Rather than just throwing something on, your iPhone already plays something that you already got on your playlist.
You got to drop it on the turntable.
Yeah, it's just way more intentional. I don't know. I've been trying to implement that more.
You got to like pick up the needle and carefully drop it onto the record.
Or you can get a record player that does that for you.
Is that how yours is?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, mine just, you press the button, it'll lift it up, puts it right at the beginning. You're done.
Nice.
I still have to take it out of the sleeve. I'm still doing some work, but...
Well, you know what I do with mine?
What do you do with yours?
I use the button that does it automatically, but it's like one button to lift it, and then you push it again to drop it. And I've noticed that if I push the button in and release it slowly, it drops the needle at the exact same speed that I release my finger off the button.
Oh, what?
So I can drop it with surgical precision.
Dude.
Yeah.
Why is that a feature?
It's beautiful.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah. What, you got a hi-fi system for the record player?
No, I just got some Samson speakers, but I don't know. One day I'll get a.
But it's not like an all-in-one record box thing.
No. It was just some cheap $100. Well, no, I don't know if it's that cheap, but $100 studio monitors that I put out there. Sounds good for vinyl, but I can't mix with it, so there it goes. It's out in the living room. Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds nice.
What are you listening to on the vinyls?
I just got I got 2 records when I was out in Missouri in December. I got Titanic Rising by Wise Blood, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's one of the best albums to come out in the last 5-10 years. And Soccer Mommy's Sometimes Forever, which is a really cool, I think, experimental direction she's taking that I think sounds really good.
Cool, dude. You're way out of my league with these selections, man. I thought you were going to say Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
I have that too.
Okay, well.
But those are the recent ones I got. I was listening to the Zombies the other day, Odyssey and Oracle. And of course I have the Beatles, Pepper, White Album, Abbey Road. Yeah. So I'm starting to get my vinyl collection back up to speed now that I have a record player. I actually want to go out there and collect them now.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's cool that you're, doing the vinyl thing.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
You know what else is cool?
Yes?
You and your creative musical expressions.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Yeah, I thought that it would be good to have you on the show so that you could maybe play a couple of your songs for us.
Hell yeah, man. I'd love to.
And I got my Chapman stick over here.
Please play bass for me. Would you, Flint?
You want me to play along?
I want you to play along.
Right, what are you going to play, man?
I'm going to play the first song off my album. This song's called Morning High.
Going to play it on the keyboard?
Yes, I'm going to play it on the keyboard. Here we go. Ready, sir? Thanks, man.
Wow. Love that song.
Me too.
I'm going to put this Chapman stick down.
Don't break your neck, man.
Yeah. Well, gently.
Nice and smooth. There you go.
Yeah, nice and smooth, man. What a song.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Can you walk me down the path? Where did that song come from? What's the origin story?
That one was the first song I wrote after the COVID pandemic, I think.
The one from 2020.
2020, yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's pretty far back there. It's it's so ancient.
Feels like yesterday though.
It does, but like it also feels like so distant at the same time. I don't know. It's just weird. It wasn't that long ago, but I had felt like because the pandemic had come and kind of that was back when I was in my previous band, the Fascinating Type.
I remember.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, yes.
And we had a bunch of shows lined up. We were really like picking up speed, and then COVID hit, and everything kind of grinded to a halt.
Right.
And I thought that the summer of 2020 would be so, I don't know, full of life, and things would just start to like really fruit there, and then it just felt like stagnation. So when I was writing Morning High, I started putting in lines like, your summer's left to die, better hide away. The sparkle in your eye tried to fade away. Like I kind of felt like I was just kind of like falling out of it. Like there was something that musically wasn't going to like happen that I was missing out on. But Save Your Tears to Cry for Another Day meant that like things, I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. Something was going to pick up again. So I started writing that, and the Morning High vibe just kind of came from the way that I was like playing the guitar chords on this like chorusy kind of sound, and it sounded like the sun was coming up, and like it felt like you were waking up and you just like smoked something and you're about to start a new day. So
nice.
That was the kind of vibe for the song.
So were you writing the lyrics while you were like strumming the chords?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of how it happens. It's just not all the time. Sometimes I start with a full instrumental and then I go back and write the lyrics. But sometimes, with Morning High included, I was just like playing the chords and I came up with, la na 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 away. And away was like a word. So I gravitated towards that, and I started thinking of lyrics as I was like strumming the chords over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have like the melody, and you kind of like finding where the words are gonna fit like into these melodies.
Yeah, exactly. I'll come up with a melody in my head, and then it's just sort of I just try to find out where the words are sitting, and I'll just mumble nonsense until something sticks, like something makes sense to me, and I'm like, oh, that's the direction. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. Okay, let's explore that. So it starts with one line, and then it opens up Pandora's box. And I think for Morning High, it was the "Your summer's left to die, better hide away" line, and it just sort of cascaded from there. I don't know. That's the way that happened.
Yeah. Do you ever go like the opposite way, or like where maybe you have lyrics that are completely like poetic, and then you find like melodies that they can fit?
Sometimes what I do is I write down little lines, like one-liners or thoughts or ideas that come to me while I'm like just doing stuff, and they'll find their way in a song later. For instance, there's a song I'm going to put out on my next album called Higher Than the Mountains, where I wrote this line maybe a year or two ago that was like, sometimes I find it hard to talk to me. Like sometimes I find it hard to really get through to myself. And I was writing this song, and this song was kind of like an anxiety kind of song. And it seemed like that word fit, that line really fit. So I put that in the song. And there's little things like that where it comes up. Even the last single I released, Requiem for the Fallen Angel, was kind of like a story first, and then I put music to it that I also had kind of alongside it, and the words just kind of fit into the melody. So it was the first verse, but yeah, sometimes that happens. Not often though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Word. Yeah, sometimes, like, I don't know, I feel like the way that you kind of described your normal process is kind of similar to mine, and it feels like, very, very natural.
Yeah.
To let things just fall into place. Sometimes I feel like I can see people where it just seems like they're just kind of force something to like be like a song. It's like too like methodical or something, and it's just like But some people's brains, just work in different kind of ways.
Yeah, there's a few people like that. They kind of treat it like a craftsmanship kind of thing. It's like, okay, I got to make this a song somehow. So, they kind of force it. I let things go sometimes unfinished for months until like I'm like recording the damn thing, and like sometimes I just don't have like a verse, and it's like. I don't get to doing it till like, it's time to record vocals, and I'm like, all right, well, now I have to actually focus on getting some lyrics for this. So in that sense, I kind of get it when there's like you feel like you need to finish something that you left kind of in the air.
Yeah.
But I never try to like sit down and I'm going to write a song now and here it goes and I am done,
Right.
It doesn't go like that. Like every time it's like a brick wall,
Right. So sometimes, it is really hard to like make yourself get in the mood if you're not already feeling some kind of inspiration to like cue your mind. But, there could be some value though to just like having more of a practice, kind of like the way that people are about like working out. Like it's not about like that it feels good to make yourself get out of bed, but like, get up early and work out. Like some people could treat that as like their creative practice too.
Oh yeah.
Like just keep the channel open so that you're keeping your ideas flowing, and then it just keeps the muscles toned.
Yeah, because you don't want to let it sit there and break down.
I'm not there.
But yeah,
I'm a lazy man about it, but
it depends for me too. Yeah,
I hear some people they seem to have like a real regimen, about their life. And
oh, dude,
God bless them.
Really, it's insane. In my other band, Soul Jam, right? John Carpenter, he writes a song every Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, every Sunday he goes for a walk and he writes lyrics. And then he makes a song out of it. And he's got like hundreds of those. And, it's not like he's trying to make a masterpiece or trying to like put something really together. He's just trying to do something, like create something on a Sunday. And it's there. And if it's useful later, it's there. If it's not, it goes away. But he does it every time. It's like you said, it's like an exercise.
Yes.
Like a routine.
You comfortable?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. So comfy. Your couches. Hugging my ass, man.
I'm curious about hey, easy now. I'm curious about your musical origin story of your own path. How'd you start playing music and all that?
I started when I was 12. My
years.
Yeah, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was 12 years old, my dad used to have a karaoke machine in the house that he would always play like all of his favorite kinds of songs. Like it was a lot of Motown and funk from the 70s, really. But one time he played, I don't know why, but like he played Obla Di Obla Da by the Beatles on it, and I heard it from the other room. I was just like doing something, playing with my Transformers or some crap like that, and I was like, "What is that song? What is that?" The kind of like dang 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 kind of vibe. I was like, "This is really good." To my 12-year-old ears, that was really good. So I was like, "I want to learn how to do that." So we had a piano in the house, and I went over to the piano and I just kind of found the chord. It was B flat. So then I was like, "Okay, what's the bass line down?"
You weren't even playing piano yet?
Not even playing piano yet. I just kind of like found it, like
But
the notes.
You wanted to figure out that chord, that
yeah,
song.
that song, and
Nice.
and I just did that, just like that. That's and
Wow.
it really fascinated me. I was like, "This is cool," because we had a piano all when I was a kid, but all I ever knew how to do was heart and soul. Da, 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 chopstick, one finger
Okay,
stuff.
well, even that's something.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. That was like the first thing I did, but I never really like went over to the piano for any
That
other
was-
reason.
That was like your level up moment. Like you had suddenly like an epiphany of like both hands
Yeah, you could.
finding like a rhythm and a groove of a song.
Yeah, it was just kind of like I wanted to learn how like they did music. Like nothing really interested me until I started listening to the Beatles when I was like 13, and I started listening to Sgt. Pepper and I think Abbey Road, and I started learning like all the songs off those albums. I was like, I want to learn, because like I'd never heard music like this before. Like my parents didn't listen to the Beatles, my mom was into like Boston and Kiss and all that kind of stuff, and my dad was into like the Temptations, Four Tops kind of stuff from his teen years. So
Your dad was older than your mom?
yes, yeah, by like 12 years actually. But like they met way later on, like they were in their 40s when they met. And so like I never listened to the Beatles really. Like all I'd ever heard was like I Want to Hold Your Hand. And then when I started listening to like Sgt. Pepper, like I was like, what is this? This is like crazy transcendental next level stuff. And I started listening to all those albums and really wanted to know how they made records. I was like captivated by the sound, and I started wanting to learn how to write songs. Wasn't really concerned about scales or trying to be like a classical pianist. I didn't ask for piano lessons. I just taught myself how to play those songs, why they worked so well, why they were so good, and then started to try to do something myself. Just try to create something completely original. And it took maybe all my teen years, definitely. I started composing instrumentals in my first group, which was like an instrumental thing with my friend. And it was just trial and error. It just kept going. I was like, I would write a song, kind of like make an electronic sort of soundscape out of, the drums on the keyboard, bass on the keyboard, everything here. I would put it out on like SoundCloud when I was like 14. 1 month later, that's crap. That's bad. Gonna try again. Do it again. That's crap.
Yeah.
Try again for years until I just perfected my skill set. So then after that, went to college, and that was the first time I actually like played with other musicians in a room. Was at the in the Indian River State College jazz ensemble, and that's when I really started learning how to solo, and really started learning like the keyboard as an instrument rather than just using it as a tool for songwriting and producing. And it just took off from there. All the different influences of my life just kind of like came together at that moment. I think I started really getting good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, you're really cooking now, man.
Thanks, man.
You got your solo project,
Yes, Misty Island.
Misty Island, and you got stuff on the internet?
I do. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, everything. Everything digital. You can find Misty Island on.
Sweet. What about if I dug up like my iPod first generation from like 2005?
I mean, yeah, you could.
I could get the MP3s on there.
Yeah, you can get the MP3s if you go to iTunes and then sync it to your computer.
Man, well, that's quite an accomplishment. You know, recording and releasing an entire album. You got one album out right now.
Yeah, one album out, and I'm doing my second one.
And you have a single that came out recently.
Requiem. Yeah, Requiem for the Fallen Angel was the single. That's going to be on the next album. I'm going to do another one too in a couple months. I'm going to put out a second one.
I hope everybody goes to check it out. You know, hit follow, hit subscribe on all those channels.
Please do. That album,
Misty Island.
That album was an interesting journey for me. That was the first time I was really doing something on my own with all of my songs.
It's worth listening to.
Yes.
And you really did. You really took it to town with the production value.
Yes.
Sounds like
Thank you.
Pro AF.
Thank you.
You recorded that in the Treasure Coast of Florida, right?
Yeah.
Port St. Lucie, Jensen.
In my bedroom, yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually at the time.
Raincat sessions too.
Yeah, so I went to Raincat Recording Studios for drums, basically.
Yeah.
Because I, couldn't get a good drum sound in my room, let alone fit a drum set in my room.
Yeah.
But me and my friend Warren, or at the time with Illustrations, it was Ricky. We would go to Raincat, lay down the drums, and then they would send me the drum track, and I would record everything else in my room at home. And I would get my friends to come over, like Tristan Johnson or John Carpenter from Soul Jam, to play guitar here and there. But yeah, everything else was done in my room and with Pro Tools.
Sounds like it could have been recorded in Santa Cruz, California, in some kind of like high budget, $1 million a day studio with like a view of the ocean.
Dude, thank you. Yeah, I tried so hard. I tried so hard to make it really sound good.
There's actually a studio like that out there. I don't know if it's Santa Cruz, but somewhere in Cali where you get this view of the ocean. It's like kind of a lot of money to reserve, but beautiful wooden rooms and like beautiful views, and you can record your albums out there. It's like one of those dreams,
Wow.
Go have like a beautiful experience. Hire the private chef. You got the kitchen and the plates too.
So bougie. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Massage therapist on hand.
Happy ending, of course.
It's like,
yeah, I would go out to LA. I'm actually thinking about taking a trip out to California in the summer if I can save up some money. That'd be cool if I could check out the scene out there. Look at some studios.
That's what to do, man.
Yeah.
Go look at the redwood trees. They're tall.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty tall.
Some of the tallest trees I think possibly on in the country.
Is it really?
If not the world.
That's it. Wow. Did not know that.
You know the word sequoia?
No.
It's a tree.
Okay.
This word contains all 5 vowels in the English language. In one word, sequoia.
No,
it's crazy.
Sequoia.
And it's also a tall tree.
Oh my god, you gotta send me that word. I'm gonna make a track called Sequoia.
Bro, you gotta have your vocab words, man.
I used to do that when I was a kid. I would just go through the dictionary and just look at words and what they mean for
what about
hours.
The thesaurus? You think it's like a type of dinosaur, thesaurus?
Yeah, but no, it's is that just online or was that a book before?
The thesaurus?
Yeah.
It's always been a book.
It's always been a book, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always seen it online. The thesaurus. Yeah,
the thesaurus.
The thesaurus. The thesaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I used to do that all the time. I would go online and just look at words and just go down the Wikipedia rabbit holes and
what a dork.
Like a sponge. I was a total nerd. Oh, that's another aspect of it because through my teen years I was homeschooled, so I didn't really have. I had a couple of friends, not really going out too much, and I was home all the time. So I think that really helped me with my keyboards and getting my musicality up to snuff. Was that I didn't have distractions as a teenager. All I did was music or go to bed, So I think that really created something. But yes, when I was just dicking around, it was either Minecraft or going through Wikipedia and learning about random stuff, just trying to soak everything in.
Way to go, man. You're off to a beautiful start on this path of yours.
Thank you.
You're well underway.
Thank you.
You got any more songs you want to sing?
Yeah, sure. I'll do a song called Ease My Mind. Would you like to play the bass?
You got
again?
another Chapman stick part in this?
I
in this
do.
tune?
I do. You can play the.
All right, let me pick this up.
Ease my mind. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I've been lying around, feel like pain in the town, nobody bringing me down. Going out for the night to have a lime in the light and feeling far out of sight. And suddenly my identity is not so easy to find. So naturally I've got to ease my mind. In isolation, everything is fine. What elation, knowing what is mine. Affirmation, I've gotta ease my mind. Elevation, gotta ease my mind. Chore to step outside of the door, I nearly fell to the floor. So many critical lies that all materialize and make it hard to arise. And suddenly my identity is not so easy to find. So naturally I've got to ease my mind. In isolation, everything is fine. What elation, knowing what is mine. Affirmation, I've gotta ease my mind. Penetration, I've gotta ease my mind. Conversation, I've gotta ease my mind. Elevation, gotta ease my mind. Validation, I've gotta ease my mind. Penetration, I've just gotta. That was awesome.
Hey, hot fire! Heck yeah. So what else? What else is good, man?
Dude, the recording of my next album is going really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost done with it.
Tell me.
So I'm pretty much like 8 tracks in on the album. There's going to be 12. Title of the album is going to be called Apocalypse in Living Color. And yeah, it's almost done. I'm going to put out a second single and probably in April or May. And it's going to be a slightly different vibe than Illustrations. I think Illustrations had a lot of kind of round, curvy sort of sounds on it. It was very kaleidoscopic and colorful. I think this album's a little bit darker. I think it goes into a little bit more of a. That's why I put Requiem out first, because that's like the most like deathly sounding thing on the record. So.
Oh yeah.
But the rest of the album is that kind of. It's a slightly dirtier kind of sound on this record. So.
All right.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to hear it. Think it'll be out by this summer, July or August, one of those.
Yeah, 2024.
2024.
All right.
A new album.
All right. Are all the songs recorded? And I mean, are they written already?
Yes. Yeah. I wrote them all. I actually wrote most of them while I was recording Illustrations.
Yeah.
So when I finished my first album and I put that out, I basically had this album ready to go. Especially Requiem. Requiem was the first song I wrote with lyrics. Because I said I'd been composing and just doing instrumentals all through my teen years. That was the first time I started taking my poetry and putting it into lyrics.
All right.
So that one's pretty old, and then a lot of the new songs I was writing around 2022-ish. So I've got they're already written. I got all the drum tracks down. I just gotta. It's the same process. I'm like just overdubbing stuff in my room this time. So it's just I gotta put in all my parts, get the arrangement right, mix it, and it'll be done pretty soon.
Sweet, man.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
Kudos on your path.
Thank you. I'm also trying to do more live stuff with Misty Island, not only just as a solo thing, just kind of going and playing my keyboards and singing, but also kind of want to get like a band going and
around your material.
Around that stuff. I think people would dig it. And
So right now you got Soul Jam mostly. That's your most band activities right now.
Yeah, for like live stuff, it's Soul Jam, and we're also doing quite a bit of studio stuff too. I produced Soul Jam's last single, "Bring Us Back."
Tight.
Yeah, we were taking it around a couple of times and didn't quite like the sound, but they had heard my album when it came out, and they were like, "Didn't you mix and master that yourself?" I was like, "Yes." And they're like, "You want to do that again?" And I was like, "Yes." So
are you like involved in the writing process now?
Yes, now I am. The new stuff. I've contributed quite a few chords and different kind of sounds. It's a very different process with Soul Jam because the way it was in my last band, The Fascinating Type, we would just like bring songs in. Like finished, like I would write a song like Ease My Mind or Flowers in the Sand or something, or Requiem, and bring that in, and then my bandmate Dylan would bring in something, or Tristan might bring in something, and then we would develop it from there. But it was mostly somebody else's song that we were trying to create into something. With Soul Jam, they started doing that in their early days, but from what I hear from the band members, that approach didn't work for Soul Jam.
Okay.
It was what they do is we come in, someone might have a riff or a part of a musical idea, and the whole band in the practice room, all of us develop it together into something.
Cool.
So it's a different writing process that I'm not used to, but it's a lot of fun because I don't feel a lot of pressure to like have something presentable. It's like here's some kind of thing I thought of while I was taking a crap on the toilet. It's like this kind of melody goes like this. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Let's kick it around and see where that goes." It's a different kind of vibe.
Well, that's very cool. I'm always very very intrigued to know like what happens behind the scenes, with different bands and how the creative process can occur like in a group setting.
Yeah, it's definitely different for Soul Jam. It's I'm not used to that kind of writing process, and it's been a lot of fun to kind of do that. We've written 4 songs that way. One of them was Bring Us Back, and then I know we got like two or three more singles that are going to come out, and that's stuff we all kind of like kicked around together while I was in the band.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Do you ever bring any of your own songs to the table, like any of the Misty Island
Nope, because just because of the stories that they told me,
Yeah.
I have songs ready to go for album 3. Like, I'm sitting on stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like what the stories that they told me about how they made their first album with Soul Jam was that when John or Anna would bring in the song, it sounded like John's song, it sounded like Anna's song, and it didn't sound like the band.
Right.
And so it was, I guess they don't have I don't know, something about the way that they talk about that. It's like they don't really want to have somebody bring in a full song, just ready. And it's like, okay, here's the song and here's the parts and this is how it goes and this is what you should play.
Yeah.
It's like they want something that hasn't been fully developed yet to be developed by the band so that it's more of a group thing. And they're way more proud of their second album because of that, because all those songs were written that way.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Yeah. So I've never brought a full Misty Island-esque song into Soul Jam before. I just kind of, if I fully wrote it, I'm like, this is mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah, I can think of times in my own experience where I was like would join a band.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe suggest like, hey, we could work on one of my songs, or maybe somebody else would suggest it, but we can bring one of my songs into the set list in this project. And even if they were open to it, it kind of would be like, well, maybe the way that we're trying to adapt my song isn't totally working for me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, maybe they weren't completely feeling it.
Right.
And definitely times when like maybe some of that energy would play into just like me trying to like taking over. Like they would perceive like, oh, I'm just trying to like make it about me or something.
Oh yeah.
I just have a prominent personality.
Yeah.
Where it's not that I want to take over something, but it kind of happens kind of automatically sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
Where I just have a strong enough like idea
that you want to get the ball moving and
right,
not just
or even stage presence. Like I can think of my dad talking about that too with different bands where he used to be the front man of his band on the drums, like his original music project. Then he would like join another band where somebody else is like a front man, and my dad would want to like kind of just be himself and kind of do some of the front man, stage banter and stuff.
Right.
And it wouldn't always go over well.
It seemed like overstepping almost.
Yeah, and like maybe the guy in the front had too much of an ego and didn't. In a perfect world, everybody can just kind of bounce off each other, and if I'm on stage and there's a microphone in front of me, like chances are I'm gonna like chime in a little bit. So
exactly. I'm getting used to that too, that aspect of it, because I think of things I want to do on stage banter wise, but I'm not used to like just taking the microphone and starting to say stuff,
Yeah.
So I always used to let somebody else do it, and then I'd like bounce off of them, if I even interacted at all, So I'm starting to get used to that kind of like talking to the audience and not being like, so off to the side. But I'm right there with you in terms of that kind of dominant sort of personality where, you bring a song to the table and you kind of have an idea for how it should kind of go. So it kind of gets perceived as, oh, you want us to play exactly like this, you're trying to tell us what to play on our instrument. It's like,
right. Or it could even be that I could be open to a different idea, but it's like if it's either it works or it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to have the brain to know what works and what doesn't. It can't just be, oh, I came up with this part, it's automatically perfect. Even stuff like when I'm working with you, I want it to be the sound that you're hearing, and I don't like I come up with my little part, but like if you say, hey, play like a clavichord instead of an organ or something like that, it's like, yeah, totally, that's what you're feeling and it works, then we're there. It doesn't have to be a thing just like that. It doesn't have to be like a thing where I think a lot of there's a lot of immaturity in that kind of mentality that like if that kind of mentality in bands where it's like if I come up with something and you reject it, then that's just an insult, a personal insult against me and my character. It's like it's about the song.
Yeah,
it's about the music.
It doesn't have to be so personal.
Right.
It's not. It doesn't have to be a fight.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, when like especially if you have a song and it's not developing, like something's not happening, somebody can't really figure out the part they should play, or the chords are confusing or something like that. It's like, if you come up with an idea like of how to get to something that works, let's explore it. I don't know. I'm right there with you. There. I've had those experiences as well. But what's so cool about Soul Jam is I haven't had to like do that at all.
Yeah.
Because everyone's kind of like on an equal playing field, and everyone has that kind of maturity to be like, oh, this does if this doesn't work, the band will like veto it, and it's not like a personal thing. It's like you got to trust other people's ears. So it's been relaxing, kind of going into that sort of thing, and every so often stepping in. I think we should do this, and if it works, it works, and it doesn't, it doesn't, and it's not like I don't know, like high school behavior, like somebody's taking too much control. Someone's got a bigger dick than me,
Oh my God, it makes me think of when I was a kid. I would have sleepovers and with my one friend, and we would always be like on the internet or on video games. But if we were on the internet, and like inevitably we would be fighting over the mouse, like who's gonna hold the mouse and point and click on things.
Oh my God,
it's my house, but it's like
dude, yeah. Literally,
that's what it be. It's my house, it's my mouse.
Dude, no, it used to get like that.
By that point, we're not having fun anymore,
Yeah, it just becomes a pissing contest.
When the sleepover becomes like, just like we're sick of each other.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you didn't let me shoot. Nah. I used to do that. My parents tell me I used to do that with the PS2 when I was a kid, and I would just let people watch me play the video game instead of like actually saying, "Hey, you want to play?" Right. Like I used to be like, "Okay, so you can do this, and then you can do that, and my mom used to be like, "Don't do that, you fool."
Just play nice.
Yeah, exactly. No, so that's what you got to do in bands. You got to play nice.
Yeah, exactly. It's there's so many metaphors with relationships and bands too.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the love life, sir?
Currently single.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Or,
hit me up.
Gender neutral beings.
Sure, why not? Yeah, I went through a breakup a few months ago, but I'm kind of back. I'm back into the swing of things. That was kind of hard for a couple of months there. Yeah. But I'm back into the swing of kind of like taking control of my life. It's kind of focused me on my musical path, because like it felt like for a second there I was kind of getting distracted with settling down in a way that I wasn't actually ready for. Like I'm only 25. Like it's not 1961. I don't need to like get a mortgage from the bank. I shouldn't have like a family of 5 by now. Like
to each their own. Of course.
Exactly. So I mean, there's people that do it and it's fine, but that wasn't me. That wasn't my path, and I kind of like refocused, and I was like, oh, I need to focus on, being a musician, like gigging, and focus on Soul Jam and focus on Misty Island and getting these things off the ground that I want to get off the ground. So
your heart is healed.
Yes. Yeah. I think so.
And you're focusing on your true passion.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's good, man. You're not letting the dating field, reel you in.
No, not even. Yeah. And I don't think I'm even ready to like start anything new yet, because I can't. I don't know. I had a few options, I guess, like just sort of little interests here and there, but I never like chased them, you know, because I was just like, I don't think so. not now. I have to focus on this.
Well, it feels good. I think it's good when it's like it's healthy when you know don't have to feel like like oh I need this in my life. Like
Right.
oh here's a slight interest. I better jump on this.
Right.
Before it. There's no need to. There's life is long. There's plenty of.
Plenty of time for that. Like once I got my shit together. So I thought about that, and I was like, yeah, I need to focus on my music.
Plenty of flounders in the ocean.
There's plenty of flounders in the ocean, and with my last breakup, there's nothing saying that relationship won't happen again. We might circle back to each other.
Okay, so you left it on amicable
It
terms?
was good terms. Neither of us wanted to do it. It was just
I see.
circumstance.
Yeah.
It was literally just like something happened in her life that completely, like, she had an existential crisis. It's like, where does she go from this point forward? And so when we broke up, then I had to think about that too, because I was sitting pretty. It was totally on her end, like things just fell apart. And when that breakup happened, I had to kind of recenter and really figure out, where's my life going to go in the next 5 years too. And that's when I kind of like centered. I was like, I need to focus on getting this off the ground. And I think going on my little excursion to Missouri during New Year's was a big kind of emotional anchor, because I played my first ever solo like show there. Misty Island on New Year's out there. And it was fantastic. It was like this amazing experience, and I realized that this has always been number one in my life, was music. So, I should develop
It's
it.
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. It's good to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not always so easy to let go. When the love fades.
Yeah.
I cling and I claw.
Yeah. It's hard to fight that urge to do that, I think somewhere deep down inside of me I have that too, cuz I think every time there's been a breakup, I've always like searched for some way that it could work out. And I don't know, I think with time you just kind of like realize, I don't know, you become more of a realist. I don't know, just in my experience, I've just been able to, after like maybe like a month or two, just kind of, that clarity comes in, and
Yeah, time always heals all.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been, I've sure as hell been putting it into the next album, like just the kind of the pain I was going through, just the sounds. I was like, I'm gonna use this, and just like, I came up with some demented sounds that are gonna show up in this next record that really,
Yeah.
I don't know, really paint that picture of what I was going through.
You transmuted your pain.
Yeah,
Processed it into sound.
exactly.
Well, that's what Shakespeare would do. I
Exactly.
suppose.
Yeah. I wrote a few songs about it. It's not going to be on this album. Probably the next one.
That's what Bright Eyes would do.
Exactly. I also started journaling. Do you ever journal?
Lately, instead of journaling, I've just been writing long emails to my ex, and I don't know if it's doing the trick. I should probably be journaling instead.
You should journal it, dude. It's actually it's a lot healthier, man. I promise you.
I even think about it in the moment. I'm like, I could just start journaling, but instead, I want to just totally let the floodgates open on her.
Make it her problem.
See where this goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I think you're right.
Journal.
I think the journaling could help.
You should journal it, dude. I started getting into that, and that actually that was also a big center thing. Because here's the other thing, going back to like that kind of thing we were talking about, where like sometimes there's like this pressure of songwriters, like they need to make it like a regiment, like a routine. They have to put something out. I was of the mindset, because I'm a songwriter, I have to channel this into music. That's what I have to do. I have to take this pain that I'm feeling and make some new music with it. And I was so depressed that I couldn't. It was just like I didn't want to do that. But like journaling my thoughts, I didn't have to think I need to put a tune to this. I need to make something rhyme. I need to write some kind of poetry about it. I just wrote my feelings out on the paper, and it was there, and it was raw, and it was not any kind of construction or art form. And that's when I could actually channel it into art. Was that I had to get the raw feeling out first.
Yes.
So, just doing things that you don't feel like you're like pressured into doing. Like just let that energy flow out naturally and get it out of your system. And journaling for me was that kind of outlet.
Yes. Wise words.
I'll be here all week. You can buy my meditation journal in the lobby.
Well, let's go deeper. Let's go
Sure.
philosophical.
Okay.
What is love?
Damn.
What is love to you? Let's start with universal love.
Yeah, I was thinking, is it romantic or is it like universal
Yeah,
love?
let's start with universal.
I think that's just having care and consideration for your fellow human, and being willing to give as much as you take, I guess. The love you take is equal to the love you make. That line. I think that's really what that kind of love is.
Striving for balance.
But striving for balance, and being able to, and expressing it to the people that matter to you, because it's very easy to think, I love that person, but did I ever tell them? Do they understand how much I care about them, and vice versa? I think that's important. I think you need to be able to do that with the people you care about.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's another part of it too, where a lot of it's like love is equal to your exposure to the person. So like, you can have a general like love for humanity, or a love for the person you walk by on the street, but it's the forming of relationships that makes it deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're apart, that dissipates in some way. There's some people that you can like just go back to, like you haven't talked for a year, and you'll go back to like pick up right where you started, right where you left off rather. But I think it's also equal to that. It's like, it's also proximity that creates that kind of connection and love.
Yeah. Well, so what about romantic love?
That always starts with, well, damn, I think she's cute. That kind of like,
what do you think about how like the biology and like the chemistry of like our literal, the chemicals in our brains and our bodies that like, influence like our physiological and emotional, where it all blends, and like,
Mm-hmm.
how does that relate to like the spirit, like the soul?
That's a really good question. I've never really.
Do you believe in the soul?
Yes,
You do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think whatever God is, it's way beyond our ability to comprehend, and I think our spirits and our souls are tied to that kind of concept. That it's like on another plane that we can't ever. We can identify with it and try to understand it, but like, I don't know. I think that kind of thing you sort of figure out once you move on from this life, So when you can actually go to the next plane of existence, I think I don't actually know one way or the other whether like you have soulmates, or like there's like someone who's like out there for you. I think there are multiple people that are for you. Like you can
Compatible.
Yeah, you can have lots of loves in your life, and it'll work out, and it's right. There's nothing like it's not like, oh, she's the one, and if you don't have her, you're not going to have anybody for the rest of your life. which is a real thing that like some of my friends think. They're like, oh, she's the one. Like, I'm looking for the one, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, it's not like that, you know? I don't know. I've never really thought about how the actual like chemical interactions of the brain, like there's a sexual undertone to that, right? Like almost. It's like it's like the life exists to reproduce, right?
Yeah.
So like when you see somebody that you think is cute, there's like, you know, we're civilized now. We've kind of smoothed out those like primal edges, but that's kind of like at the baseline of it, is where that kind of comes in. But I don't know how that interacts with the spirit. I've never really thought about that. Do you have a perspective on that?
Yeah, I don't know, like it's so easy, like you were saying how like, oh, like she's the one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so easy to just idolize almost, and like idealize
Yeah.
the situation, and like, but you know, like I really thought that, you know, we could be like, you know, the perfect couple. Like, you're the perfect person for me. Like if only like
Yeah.
this one little thing, if you would change your mind, then you're perfect. You know what I mean? Like
It's like you mythologize your future and this person that way, where it's like, you know, you can, I don't know, you can kind of ground it some more, for sure. I think.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's like maybe even though like I'm like tearing myself apart with like being so obsessed with like, you know, these ideals that I was just even talking about.
Yeah.
You know, with what I'm going through. I feel like there could be some value in like having some kind of idealistic nature, like, because otherwise, you know, how can like, at least like I like to just think that there's some beauty to like that, you know, having some kind of fairy tale situation, like, or at
yeah.
least striving for that, for a, you know, the perfection, even if we know that it will never be totally perfect.
Yep.
Like,
That's the artist mind.
yeah, exactly.
That's you trying to reinvent the wheel every time and not quite getting there, but you know, it's like,
And it's the same thing with having a music career. You know, there's so many people that are going to tell you, and the whole society lets you know that it's like you're just dreaming, you know, that like it's, you know, it's like winning the lottery, like the odds are so low that you're ever going to like make it big or whatever. But
yeah.
you know, it's still like you still got, like, to me, I don't want to downplay it and shoot low.
Yeah.
Even though somebody might argue for that.
Right.
Some people would argue like, just don't expect anything, and then everything will be a bonus.
Cause they settled for that. They've settled
like,
for that. In
yeah,
life.
I don't want to settle. I always want to keep, like, you know, imagine that there's like a path to, you know, the success that I would envision in my dreams. And so I kind of put that same mentality into romance.
Into
sometimes.
romance, yeah. I'd be lying if I said I didn't at any point in my life think,
right,
you know that's how it's gonna work out, is I'm gonna find the one and then we're gonna be together forever. And it's like, that could still very well happen, but it's like, you know, that you guys have to cross paths at the right time, you know. Right. So it's not something I'm like thinking about all the time. It's like that's gonna happen naturally.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you're where you are. And I always have found that whenever I am least like looking for it, when I just don't care, that's when it usually sneaks up and pops up.
Yeah, right.
When I'm
Same.
not looking for it. It always kind of seems that that's how it goes.
Exactly. That's all my relationships started that way. I was like, you know, I would be in the dating pool, feel like I need to play chess to get to pawn to king 4 to get to this point where I'm in a relationship. I have to play the game, and then when I realize this is bullshit, I'm not going to do that anymore, then someone comes along, and it just sparks and it clicks and it happens, and you don't have to force anything.
And that's how it should feel. Like it always feels serendipitous, you know, when it happens that way. I've never even been on like a dating app. Have you?
When I was 17, my friend set one up for me.
Yeah.
Nope.
It didn't work out.
Didn't work out. I think the only person that swiped on me was a burner account that was like a meme.
Yeah.
It was just someone with just a nice face. I was like, thanks, and that was it.
Funny.
It was.
Yeah.
It didn't. I also had a glow up. I didn't look that great when I was a teenager, but like, yeah. No.
I mean, you know, God bless it, and anyone who's doing that, and like, you know, even if it's like old school, like internet websites, like OkCupid or whatever, if it's that or Tinder, I won't judge anyone who's like, you know, just doing their best and keeping their options open or whatever.
Dude, yeah.
But it's never really called to me. I've never felt like I needed or had any interest in just looking into the dating apps, and it kind of like whenever I hear like just I don't know, just the general kind of like the types of people that are just going to the clubs and drinking, and that's their idea of dating.
Yeah.
And then I hear them talk about Tinder, like it just sounds like the grossest type of energy all the time. Like they're just the lowest. Like there's no hardly any magic or like real.
Yeah.
You know.
It feels like a
anything
job interview almost sometimes when you're approaching things from that kind of online dating personality sort of thing, where you're presented with these people, and it's like it's like you're an executive at an office, like going through your candidates and putting them in a trash bins and like, okay, we want this person in, bring them in for an interview. You know,
right?
Let me see your resume, things like that. Kind of, it just feels something's not natural about it.
And it's kind of like the same. Like it becomes more impersonal. Like just like easily, like more easy to detach from the whole endeavor and the whole dance of romance. Like, you know, just you can swipe and discard someone just as easily as the next person, and like even, you know, maybe you might. Well, whatever. I just imagine like people going on dates and like just kind of like setting up 2 dates at the same club, half an hour apart, and be like, well, if it doesn't work out with this one guy, I'm gonna go meet this other guy.
Exactly.
In 30 minutes.
I have so many friends that are like that.
Like,
so many friends like that, where they're just like,
I just can't go. I can't go for that. You know.
Yeah.
Any connection that I've ever had romantically has always just happened like we described, like when it just feels like serendipity just falls into your lap, and like suddenly like you see like the beauty in someone's eyes, and that's what I love.
Yeah. And it comes out of nowhere, man, and it happens anywhere. I mean, my last relationship started on Minecraft. Like, we just played on a server together, and then we started talking, and then we started video chatting, you know, just as friends, but something clicked. And, you know, I didn't think that was gonna ever be a thing that was like that happened to me in my life. I was like, I'm not gonna find a Minecraft girlfriend, you know, that kind of thing. But it did. That happened, you know.
I had an internet girlfriend when I was like 12, 13. We never met each other in person, but
right, yeah, me too. I had one of those too. Like when I was like 12, you know, it was just like nothing, you know, just
online girlfriend.
Those that kind of
just someone to talk to and open up to and like share ideas, you know.
Yeah.
Of a romantic nature, you know.
Yeah.
Someone of the opposite sex.
Right.
The opposite gender, if you will. Whatever gender you happen to choose or prefer.
Yeah, dude.
In your world.
Yeah.
It is blessed.
Yeah, man. And yeah, it's just, it felt like that was like a phase, and that's not going to happen again. It just comes out of nowhere. Just I think love, romantic love, real romantic love you can't not craft, I can't think of the word. You can't construct that. I don't know. You can't it's not like you can like intentionally build that. It's like almost like psychotic if you do that.
Right. It can't be orchestrated or methodically put together with a blueprint.
Yeah. And I learned that in my teens when I was first dating. I was like, that was something that I was doing, was like I go on 3 dates and then I kiss her and then we do this and then we do that, and it's like it felt so unnatural that I was like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Man, I can't even count how many times that I've had a crush on someone, and like just within like one breath, by the time that the crush occurred into my mind, by the time that thought circulated my entire bloodstream and came back to the brain, it was like she's the one, soulmate forever, like the most beautiful person in the world. There she is. She's the one. It's happened, man. And I remember one of those times, it was an internet connection just off Facebook.
Yeah.
Or something. Maybe Instagram. I think it was Facebook though.
One of those, yeah.
I saw her hula hooping videos off of the hula hooping flow arts like Facebook group. And she posted a video, and I just was like, hey, beautiful flow. And just however, she was in a place to be very receptive, and however I said was very nice. And next time she came to Florida, she came out to see me.
Yeah.
She drove a couple hours to meet me.
There
and
you
I
go.
remember I opened the door. She was at that door. I opened the door, and just the sunlight, reflecting off of me onto her. The lighting was perfect. We saw each other's eyes.
Yes.
And suddenly I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's beautiful that happens like that, right?
I thought she was the one, but that one, I don't know. It's like, you never know. It's like, it's easy for me to say, well, I didn't, seize the opportunity when I could have, because, I might have had the invite to go visit her, across the country where she lived. But at the time, I was not so bold to make a spontaneous trip. Right. To go see someone if I didn't have I don't know, a show that was involved. Right. Nowadays, I think if I felt strongly enough, I probably would just make a spontaneous drive. Yeah. Or a flight, to see someone. But at the time, I was like, no, I'm going to stay focused on my music, and just keep doing me. And if it's meant to be, then we will reunite. And, exactly. The reuniting never really played out. Right. So that's okay.
Yeah, and that is okay. That is okay. And I'm in the same boat. Like I said at the beginning of this, I was like, there's nothing saying that we can't circle back to each other, once she's done with her journey and I've come to a different place, and we meet up again, and something that love is still there, and it continues there. There's nothing saying that won't happen. There's nothing saying that it will either, and I'm okay with that. So, I'm just open to whichever way, the tide rolls in,
Very good.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. I'm glad we went down the love direction, because I feel like that's a theme that I would like to incorporate in the podcast with the title, being Awaken to Love. It's I kind of wanted to keep that as a theme that can play into conversations, because it's so relatable.
Yeah, man. That'd be sick.
We all experience these things in life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that everybody at some point has to kind of touch that place in their life. Even the people who aren't into romantic relationships, they're people that just don't do romance. It's not for them. They still have to cross that bridge to understand that that's not what they want. So everyone has some kind of relationship with love. Romantic love, at least, So, yeah, that's beautiful.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Close to you. Let it into your life right now. Can you feel it? Can you feel the love?
Look under a rock, you'll find it.
It's everywhere you look.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks again for having on the podcast,
Dude,
man.
thanks for
Coming
having me.
through right here in my home. You know, I don't know if this is where we're gonna keep doing the podcast, but we're gonna feel into it.
Yeah, dude.
And maybe try some different backdrops, some different locations in the home.
I just realized this was behind me.
Yeah, we got you centered right with the thing. Got like a psychedelic halo going on.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love psychedelia.
Well, you're the guest of honor, for today's podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We would love to have you back sometime,
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna start living in your house. So whenever you want, me on again, just go in that room. I'll be here.
All right. Well, yeah.
I've already started moving my crap in.
Thanks for the special announcement.
It was going to be a surprise. I was going to wait till your birthday, but surprise!
I love surprises.
I'm living with you now. Surprise!
We can put you in the laundry room or something, maybe.
No, just spin me in the wash cycle.
Yeah, easy, clean up. Yeah. Well, so
yeah, man.
It's truly been a pleasure.
Yeah, dude, you're awesome, bro.
So
it's been a long time since I've seen you too before this podcast.
You got a gig tonight.
I have a gig tonight with Soul Jam, Tipsy Tiki. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I should come out and check it out.
Yeah, you should come out.
It's not far at all.
Dude, it's like 5 minutes down the road. You should come out.
Well, by the time this airs, unfortunately that'll be in the past. But
yeah, you missed your chance.
But we can find more tour dates, stuff like that.
Yeah, SoulJamBand.com has all the dates for Soul Jam. You can come out and see us, see me, doing that kind of stuff.
Throughout Florida
stage.
And beyond?
Florida and beyond. There's definitely going to be, I think in July, we're going to North Carolina for a little tour. We're going to do like a week up there. I can't think of any of the actual venues that we're doing, but
no worries.
Yeah, if you go on the website, you'll find it. Hoping to finish my second album before that, so I don't have to worry about.
And Misty Island,
which is going live now. So, yeah, check us out. Check us out.
You want to do one more jam and close it out?
Yeah, let's jam, man.
Right, let's jam.
Get that stick.
All right, let me get my stick.
Let me try this sound. Always fun, man.
Much love.
Much love, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
One more time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, whoa. Everybody loves it when we come to town. Awaken to Love is the name of the show. Yeah.
What the fuck? That was awesome, man. That was a lot of fun. That was great.
Good job.
Thank you. The first of many wonderful episodes.
Best podcast.
Full Blades. What are you calling it again? Awaken to Love? Hell yeah.
Hope you've enjoyed this first episode of Awaken to Love. We'll close it out with a music video by Misty Island.